There we go. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Public Art Review Board of January 14th, 2026. The time is 6:04 p.m. Oh, wait, your name's on this, but it's still me, right?
It's you.
Oh, okay. Member Zhao invites Becky to call roll.
So that's you.
You.
Oh, I understand. I thought that
Sorry.
she was in charge. Call roll.
All right, Chair Merritt.
I'm here.
All right, I do not see Member Sandoval, so we'll mark him absent. Member Schaufler.
Present.
All right, Member Skinner, I do know is also absent, and Member Zhao.
I'm here.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we have some agenda items. First is approve regular meeting minutes from October 15th, 2025.
So moved. Second, anyone?
Great, approved. Approve as submitted.
I think she has to call roll.
Yep, let me
Again?
take a roll call real quick. Chair Merritt,
Yeah, approve.
Member Schaufler,
Approved.
and Member Zhao.
Approved.
All right, motion approved. Thank you.
I invite questions and answers from committee members to staff.
I think you only need to do that if there were any for the meeting minutes. I think at this point you could move on to public comment if you wanted to.
Okay. Any public comment? At this time, I'd like to open for in-person participants on any matters not listed on the agenda that pertain to the Public Art Review Board.
Excuse me, may I just ask, should the three of you give us your names and titles? You don't have any name tags.
We'd like to know who you are.
Sure, I'm happy to. Yeah, definitely. So I'll start right now. My name's Craig Verame. I'm one of the city's assistant library and recreation directors, and I'm also the city's staff liaison for the Public Art Review Board. Turn it over to you, Stacy.
Hi, my name is Stacy Lauman. I work with the City of San Rafael also. I'm the Economic Development Program Manager. And we have two guests this evening that'll be presenting a little bit later.
So we'll give them a chance to introduce themselves. They're here for agenda item 3A. So, okay.
Okay,
All right.
go.
Okay,
Any other public comment?
yes,
Yes.
I'll start. My name is Stuart Doobie, and I've lived in Bay Point Lagoons since 1997. And while I currently serve on our HOA board, I'm speaking tonight as a long-term resident who cares deeply about Bay Point and Spinnaker communities and about preserving the safety, function, and natural beauty of the Starkweather Path. So for context, your committee will soon be reviewing Rich Stork's Peoples of the Canal Art Project and its proposed usage of the Starkweather Path for an installation, art installation. Our communities, Bay Point and Spinnaker, just recently found out about this project, even though it's been going on for 4 years. There's really been a single outreach that was initiated by one of our own residents because of realizing that this was happening. And that was in October of this last year. So I'm accompanied by other residents because we feel like we really need you to understand the implications of using the Starkweather Path for this project. I want to be clear that many residents support the spirit and intent of this project, particularly the goal of honoring the Miwok Indian history. However, our communities strongly oppose using Starkweather Pass as the location for this installation. The Starkweather Path sits atop a critical flood control levee that protects more than 400 homes from flooding and sea level rise. Many of us pay an annual assessment specifically for its maintenance and structural integrity. Because of this, we're not only nearby residents, we're direct stakeholders on how this space should be used. Residents have raised consistent and serious concerns about the proposed location, including public safety, vandalism, ADA access and compliance, impacts to the levee and adjacent infrastructure, and the absence of a long-term maintenance plan. Your committee's bylaws state specifically, quote, "The design of artworks will consider the specific needs and use patterns of the public space in which it will be located. In parks, works of art will not block critical view corridors or impede public usage of the key open space." The current proposal includes approximately 22 fixed signs and a 9 by 6 foot steel sculpture placed along the path, totaling over 130 square feet of permanent signage. This would significantly interrupt the pristine, unobstructed bay views that are a defining feature of this public space and a primary reason people use the path. Additionally, several proposed sign locations appear to encroach on the dirt running path, potentially forcing runners, pedestrians, cyclists, and e-bike users into a narrower shared corridor. This creates avoidable safety conflicts in an area already heavily used for recreation. I also want to address maintenance and vandalism. And just 2 weeks ago, Starkweather Path experienced 2 consecutive days of spray paint vandalism. The 2 existing informational placards on the path were defaced, and along with nearby fencing, trash cans, and roughly 50 feet of the walkway. Installing 22 permanent placards in this location would create an ongoing maintenance burden that provide a ready, quote, blank canvas for repeated tagging. Finally, portions of the Starkweather path pass through sensitive salt marsh habitat, frequented by several species protected under the California Endangered Species Act. At this time, there does not appear to be any environmental analysis addressing the potential impacts to this fragile ecosystem. So on behalf of many concerned residents, I respectfully ask that when this project comes before you, you do not approve the Starkweather Path location, and instead require that the installation be placed in a more suitable setting that can honor the project's intent without creating these conflicts. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Before I start, I think I just want to add that the 3 of us who planned on speaking prepared all of our statements independently of each other. So it's very interesting when I hear Stuart's and you hear mine and Sue's, how we see the same issues. So I would like to say good evening. My name is Claire Taylor and I live at Spinnaker Point. I've been there for 10 years and I look directly out on the canal. I face Starkweather Path and I see the canal every day out of my window. And I honestly am appalled at the thought of the pristine view of the canal and the walking path littered by signage. No matter how attractive or how informative it may be, I hardly think the original My Walk peoples would look kindly at the placement of 20 or 22 signs disrupting the serenity and the visual peace of the walking path. That's why people go there, because of that serenity. I'm not opposed to the project, but I am definitely opposed to the current proposed placement. Aside from and in addition to the aesthetics of placing the project along the pathway, I believe that the placement along the path is actually hazardous for the following reasons. We are now more than ever aware of the imminent danger of sea level rise. And as a member of the Canal Sea Level Rise Steering Committee, I see constant examples of how destructive king tides and storm surges can be. And all of us saw that firsthand last week. Fallen or damaged signs are a hazard. Things that fall across the pathway and obstruct the pathway are a hazard. 22 signs are a hazard. They're a danger to walkers, bikers, and children. Secondly, the neighborhood consistently sees the lack of maintenance of the fences and the pavement, and you could see the graffiti due to wear and tear and also due to vandalism. What makes you think that San Rafael will do any more to attend to the path than they do now? Fences are constantly being knocked over and benches are defaced with futile efforts by the city to rectify. The 20 signs would hardly be spared and rather just become the next target. Finally, the path is quite narrow, and with walkers, bicycles, baby carriages, and dogs on leashes crowding the path, especially on nice days, it can be hard to negotiate. And often walkers are forced off the path and onto the unpaved area where the signs would be anchored. So there's just be nowhere for walkers to be. Public art is a wonderful thing when it serves the public, but this location simply does not. Please place this project where it will be truly meaningful and a pleasure to visit. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Susan Levine, and I live in Bay Point Lagoon since 1992. One of the primary reasons I chose to move to this community was the ability to walk along Starkweather Path and enjoy the unobstructed beauty of San Francisco Bay. Many residents of the Bay Point and Spinnaker communities, including myself, strongly support public art and interpretive projects that celebrate history and culture. Our opposition is not to public art itself, nor to Mr. Stork's People of the Canal project as a concept, but rather to the proposed location of the 22 art installations along the Starkweather Path. Our communities became aware of this project only by chance when a Bay Point resident attended an August 25 Canal Alliance Advisory Council meeting. We were blindsided by a project that has been in development for years without any direct public notice, signage along the path, or outreach to either the Bay Point or Spinnaker HOA residents. We strongly oppose the placement of structures along the Starkweather Path due to significant concerns regarding ADA accessibility, sea level rise and environmental impacts, public safety, and ongoing maintenance. The city is currently unable to adequately maintain the path because of budget constraints. It is highly unlikely that sufficient funding will be available to maintain additional structures over time, which raises serious long-term concerns. According to your own bylaws and stated design requirements, the design of the artworks will take into consideration issues associated with public spaces such as security, theft, vandalism, and safety. We do not believe these issues have been adequately addressed, as we have provided Mr. Stork with numerous documented examples of pedestrian safety concerns along this path. Secondly, the design of the artworks will consider the specific needs and use patterns of the public space in which they are located. In parks, according to your bylaws, works of art will not block critical view corridors or impede public usage of key open space. However, the proposed installations would, in fact, noticeably block important view corridors and detract from the open and natural experience of the San Francisco Bay. We respectfully ask that when this project comes before you for approval, you do not support its placement along the Starkweather Path and instead agree with our assessment that Mr. Stork's art project should be relocated to a more appropriate site. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Hi, my name is Richard Peterson. I've lived in Spinnaker for 25 years. Been on the board of directors for more than 10. As someone mentioned here, we all wrote these statements individually. You're going to hear a lot of overlap, but I think perhaps all the more for emphasis. I'm going to add perhaps one or two points that I haven't heard yet, and then I'm going to suggest a solution or alternate solutions to be considered. First of all, the safety risk was discussed in terms of pedestrians walking on the path. You've got people firing down there occasionally with their bikes and so forth. To create more foot traffic is just likely going to increase the incidence of accidents. Also, the maintenance issue was brought up with respect to the fence posts, benches, what have you. I don't know how we're supposed to believe that the signs will be maintained if in fact the city has been able to maintain what's already in place. The other thing is to put some of the signs down by Target and then the rest over by the East Lagoon. People would have to traverse, I think it's probably close to a 1 mile muddy path. Having walked down that path probably 1,500 times, and I'm not exaggerating, and my wife and I just walked it down it last week. Try walking down that path in the rainy season because there are at least 30 mud puddles. So trying to imagine, let's say, a teacher trying to control a bunch of young kids, or perhaps the elderly or disabled trying to navigate those, I don't think that's a very good idea. Let me see. Oh, another question. I hadn't heard anything about this. Maybe I have incomplete information, but will there also be restrooms provided? That might come to be a need. And I don't know if you contacted Fred Grange, who is the owner of the field with the unpaved path. I don't know if legally he has to approve that property. So I think you've heard most of these before. As they say, the mud is a real issue. And it's also been pointed out, you're going to have kids walking a couple miles back and forth. It's doubtful that young children want to traverse all that distance. So here's my solution that I think will address the flaws we've introduced to the program. I think that there's at least 3 other locations where we could serve the need of the project. And again, we're all behind the project, and everybody I've ever talked to in Spinnaker is behind the project. But the 3 locations would be over by Pickleweed Park, maybe surrounding the soccer field. Second location would be over near Target, but don't put the signs on the waterfront path. Put them on the paved path nearest Target, so you don't have that much traffic going up there. Yeah, there'd still be a little bit of obstruction of view by the signs and by a few trees. But again, I think you're solving a lot of the safety problem. The third opportunity would be place them down the far end near the Rod and Gun Club end and use that strip of paved area. So just, I think it's a better idea to keep it away from the muddy areas for everybody concerned. And I think that's all I had. Thank you very much.
Okay, hi. My name is Anna Peterson, and we live right in front of a parklet. I've been there 10 years, and my first question about this project, and I was an art major, so I love art. Anywho, it's the idea that, vandalism and, because it's such a shame when something is produced and 22, it's disgraceful. I have witnessed in the 10 years I lived there. I'm a gardener. I live outside my house. I know everybody because of their dogs, and they know me because I give away plants. So I have seen the lack of maintenance, the loss of vegetation. I have people who have come to me and said, I used to live here. What happened to the park? True story. So it's really a shame because, it's almost like creating something beautiful only to have it destroyed. And I'd love to have children learn, but this may not be the right combination. The art is wonderful, and whatever it is, it's going to be very hard, I believe, for the city to maintain a project like this where it's going to be constantly tagged. We all know it because it's all out in the open. And I don't know, it's just almost a setback to the whole project's purpose. So that's it. Like I said, some of the destruction, it's so bad. I literally have to ask the park guys, please do something about the buckling. Someone's going to fall. And I always said, it ended and they had to patch it together. It literally a patch job. I said, if somebody falls, I hate to say that I'm going to be a witness to something when they sue the city over this broken up path. And it's just a path. What do you think will happen? It's not going to be a priority if they have limited funds over repairing the face of an artwork or maybe fixing the path. I'm going to vote path because that's safety. I just had a lady fall last week. So, I had to hold, I don't know, she said she didn't quite remember how she fell, but it's right in front of that little parklet. And if you know children, they will be crawling down those rocks. I see it all the time. Anyway, thank you very much for the opportunity and all your work.
I'd like to add one more comment, I'm sorry. It's a different project, but it interrelates with the art project here. And that is the city is reviewing a proposal to put in lighting on Starkweather Path. And if you want to talk about graffiti, if you want to talk about crime, if you want to talk about whatever, let's just light up the area for people to handle vandalism, possibly molestation. I don't know. Better just keep the artwork out of there and try to minimize your graffiti. So.
My name's Maggie Rice. I live in Seneca Point. I think they beautifully covered everything, and I'm in agreement with everything they said.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
If you had any questions of us, we would be happy to answer them.
I have a question. Has any of you guys gone to see the property,
The walk.
the walk?
I've been there many times.
Okay, so you're familiar with it. Because it is beautiful, the water on the left and the two bridges and Mount Tam on the right. It's, nature is just gorgeous. It's beautiful. So.
I had a question. There was been basically one significant outreach, which was a Zoom call that Stuart presented to those of us who heard about it. Were you informed, any of you informed about that meeting?
I'm just gonna jump in real quick because just procedurally, with the laws as a Brown Act meeting, since this isn't an item that's on the agenda,
I see.
we really can't get into a lot of back and forth about this. And what I will say is I just want to acknowledge the comments, also acknowledge that, as his city staff, we've been in touch. There's a lot of email threads going back and forth where we have received a lot of comment from the Bay Point Spinnaker community. Like I said, we can't get a lot of back and forth tonight on it, but just want to acknowledge that we've heard it. Definitely glad that you were able to share that perspective tonight. And as of right now, there has been no proposal brought forward to the Public Art Review Board for them to review as part of this project in any formal matter. So that's kind of where things stand right now.
Would you like our written comments to put in the public?
You're happy to, we can collect those if you like. Yeah, and as I mentioned offline before the meeting, those emails that we have received do become part of the project record. And so anything we've received regarding this would be included in any proposal that comes your way down the line. So,
Yes.
Thanks.
yeah,
Thanks
thank
so
you
much.
thank you for being
Thank you.
here. I can also just attest to that you are outside all the time because when we walked the path on Friday, we saw you outside. So that's an excellent statement.
So you mentioned if we submit other things like future graffiti and things, can we send that? Is that the in the comment?
Yeah, if you have questions about how to submit that kind of
Okay.
information, I'd be happy to answer those offline. We do have a
Oh, okay.
system where you can report that type of information. And I think, Stuart, I know you have my email.
Yes.
Yeah,
Feel
okay,
free to
thank
share
you.
that. I'd be happy to give some information about the best way to do that.
In
Thank
terms
you.
of process, my understanding is that when this is up for the board's review, that there is not an opportunity to present public comments and dialogue with the board members. Is that correct, or am I misunderstanding?
I can clarify that. I think our standard public art review board process for any project that the city receives, we take a look at a couple things. One is if it's a short-term proposal with less than 1 year, or if it's a long-term proposal, and then specifically where it is. And that helps guide what that review process looks like. Short-term proposals, the Public Art Review Board has the authority to review and approve those if it's less than 1 year. If that proposal impacts anywhere at Pickleweed Park, then in addition to the Public Art Review Board reviewing it, we would send it to what's called our Pickleweed Advisory Committee. And I think that was a meeting that was mentioned earlier. That proposal, the people of the Canal Project did go to the Pickleweed Advisory Committee to their August meeting for an initial review as part of that initial process. So if it's a long-term proposal, it would then go to City Council. So if they go to those groups, and then ultimately City Council is the group that would have any authority to approve. At any of those meetings, there will be an opportunity for public comment. So if this proposal were brought to the Public Art Review Board, there'd be an opportunity for public comment because that's an item that's on the agenda. So have an opportunity to speak and to be heard before any decisions would be made. Same would be true at City Council.
Okay. I think that that's contrary to what's posted in the bylaws. I seem to remember it saying that there's no public comment if it's on the agenda. That's why we're here today, trying to get ahead of what's coming to you.
So we'll take a look. If you do see anything that's contrary to that, send it my way so we can correct it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And you're welcome to stay if you'd like to hear the rest of the proposal, but you're also welcome to go. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm upside down. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for being here.
Okay, closing public comment. Okay, we have no special presentations. So we'll get into other agenda items. All right, first item, City of San Rafael Public Art Program 2025-26. The action would be to recommend approval and advance the proposal to City Council for final review.
All right, well, let's get going here. I guess I want to first off introduce Stacy. You already introduced yourself, but I'm really going to turn it over to you if you wanted to introduce Local Edition Creative here. Sure. So.
Should I? Can I go through?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Thank you for taking the time tonight to discuss this project. Again, my name is Stacy Lauman and I work in economic development at City Hall. I work closely with Craig Verme here and other city departments. And the city several years ago received a grant from the state of California to advance public art as a means of increasing economic vibrancy in the city. So tonight I want to introduce our consultants are with Local Edition Creative. It's Sage Loring and Terry Loring. And they can introduce themselves, but they've prepared a presentation for you tonight, which talks about the breadth of this program from sort of conception through artist selection, the jury process, and then what we are bringing to you tonight as a recommendation for final artists and artworks. And with that, I'll turn it over to Sage and Terry Loring. Thank you.
Okay, I guess I'll kick it off because Sage is going to take you through each of those proposals, so he's going to do a lot of talking. Well, it's a pleasure for us to be here on behalf of the city to present the first public art projects on city-owned property. It has been a journey together with the committee and the city and all the partners that have been involved in bringing these artworks to where we are tonight. And we are excited to share with you that process and how we got to where we are with these beautiful pieces that are going to be presented for the city's downtown area. So I'm just going to jump right into that. The initial set of parameters that we were talking about that the program aims to achieve is enhancing the identity of the city of San Rafael, particularly the downtown area, as the arts and culture hub of the county of Marin. To attract culturally responsive and artistically significant artworks to the downtown for permanent installations, increase the economic vitality of downtown, and celebrate diversity and creativity through public art installations. I believe that you maybe know a little bit. I'm not going to go too much into about us as Local Edition Creative, but we did go through an RFP process to be selected as the city's facilitator of this program. We work with multiple municipalities, particularly focused in the Bay Area, to implement public art programs. And one of our programs won the 2024 Helen Putnam Award, which we're really proud to share too. So you never know where this could lead to. I hope it'll be on their radar when that comes around next time. Program implementation timeline. So here we are, winter 2025 at the Public Art Review Board. City Council approved the program in June of 2025. In August of 2025, we actually in June of 2025, it authorized the program, and we put out a call for artists for the program. In August of 2025, the semifinalists were selected by the arts jury. In October of 2025, the design proposals were put out for public outreach and review. In November of 2025, the final proposals were selected by the jury. And this is where we are tonight at the next phase in the process of presenting now what has gone through these processes to the Public Art Review Board. Following this will be final approval by the City Council, with a hope of installation of these artworks coming in the spring and summer of this year. The jury members were comprised of 8 individuals, and I think a few more were actually added onto that towards the end of the whole process. And we did have very specific selection criteria and goals in the program, which we talked about the goals beforehand, and then all of the voting criteria that was given to the jury as they're considering the different artworks and the artists to select for this particular program. We did quite a bit of public outreach for all of this. So with flyers, social media posts on cities, social channels, newsletters, city partners, and outreach to the neighborhoods through different social channels as well. We had pop-up experiences where you could come and see the proposals of each of the artworks. It was up on display in City Hall lobby for about a week. 2 other locations and an event in downtown, and then in a storefront window display for a week for a 2-week period at the end of October and early November. And this is just a quick look at some of that outreach and what those pop-ups look like. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sage to go into each of these 5 art installations, starting with C Street Garage.
Yeah, and if you have questions about these projects, we'll answer them as we go through each one. So Terry mentioned one of the main goals was this is a downtown arts district. We want this to feel very cosmopolitan. San Rafael is the largest city in Marin County. It's the most diverse city. So therefore, it should feel quite alive. There's a lot of great artists locally. But we also, one of the criteria was not to give this job to somebody that's already done a lot of work. So for instance, if there's a local artist that's done 5, 6, 7 murals or done even a few or have some in the making, we want to give this to opportunity to other artists that haven't done anything as well. So we have a body of work that's very diverse from what you see out there. So it's not kind of homogeneous stuff like the same thing. So this selection of artists came through, as Terry mentioned, technical ability of kind of the vision, and the committee that we had, they selected all the artists. Terry and I, nor anybody with Local Edition Creative, weighed in or kind of pushed anybody towards any direction. We just made sure that every artist that was up for selection fit all the criteria, and let the community divide. Since the art committee is all from here, it's kind of for the people, by the people, of the people. So they selected these artists. They had a tough choice. There was quite a few entries, And so this one is, the C Street garage is quite interesting because it doesn't actually face any residences or anything else. So it can be kind of bold and large. You know, you're not gonna be looking right outside an apartment directly or any house. So it's fitting to have something quite large of this nature. So the actual art that was selected here.
Show that. Well, I'm gonna go past the narrative and just show the large piece.
Brian Valenzuela. So this gentleman actually lives in St. Helena. Interesting thing is we wanted to make this a California-centric call for artists. So as he posted on the cafe, which is the call for artist entry, the most widely used platform for artists to actually apply to calls, California Arts Council websites. We did a lot of media for artists to be able to do this, but we really wanted this to have a good look for the artists of the Marin County or North Bay, or at least the Northern California portion. So we want to make sure that they specifically got a chance to see this call. So if there was somebody or several people that were around the area that fit the criteria, we could at least have one person hyper locally or close enough by. So St. Helena is fairly close. Brian Valenzuela has done a lot of great artwork. He's very accomplished. And this large scale artwork, the narrative is quite beautiful. Everybody enjoyed the actual story behind it as well as the artwork. There's quite a diverse group of people that kind of weighed in on it. All of these interesting artworks were, there's public outreach. We actually had a very robust way to qualify the artwork through an online survey. So grading something gave it kind of a weighted chart. And so we were able to quantify, yes, these artworks were the most beloved amongst the public, and then also the art committee. So they kind of trued up. They were checking each other, checks and balances. The public seemed to think this artist was great for this location, and the committee. So we really felt like this is, again, due diligence, very thorough in the process. So we want to make sure that the outcomes, like we can infer that if more people took the survey and there was a larger committee, it would probably be the same outcome. Obviously, things shifting, but you can see the trend. So this artwork is going to be done on scaffolding. It should take probably a month to maybe 6 weeks. We're preparing for that. Scaffolding will be installed with a pedestrian bridge, so it won't impede any traffic or anything. 1 day of a turning lane closed for the scaffolding to be set up, and 1 day for it to be closed, for it to be taken down.
Is there anything specifically we can tell you about this artwork? I think that maybe if you've read the narrative about it, the beautiful thing about this piece with this artist is he is going to handwrite, which is signature to his style, on the hands, words, poetry, and just meaning, care, really going along with the handle with care theme of his design. So all of this is really about preserving community, preserving nature, and unity amongst all of these things together. So it's a very intricate piece that these hands will be obviously a prominent center to and overlooking the Marin area. So we did include in each of the presentation proposals, artist bio about Brian and his background, and examples of work. So you can see here in actuality what his artworks kind of translate to from the design and the digital format onto the physical space. He's a very skilled artist. He's worked at different levels when it comes to public art. He also does a lot of paintings and gallery work as well. And here is a snapshot of the budget, timeline, and care. Again, we're hoping to install come spring, begin installation of that. Part of our budget is also cleaning up the wall and preparing it for artwork installation. So we'll take care of any of the roots. There's some things there on the wall, and then priming it before the artist comes in and installs the artwork. And then once the artwork installation is complete, we will have UV and anti-graffiti coating installed on it, which preserves the artwork for approximately 7 to 10 years time before you might notice some fading, at which time you can then add another coating of the protective, the UV anti-graffiti. And as maintenance and taking care of artwork was brought up tonight, with these coatings that we use, they're very high level professional coatings that really make it fairly easy. I won't say it makes it perfectly easy, but it makes it fairly easy to remove graffiti. And so it'll be preserved well. Before we go into the next proposal, I thought maybe we would stop at each one because there's 5 artworks in case there's anything that we can answer or address as far as this particular artwork goes. Anything you want me to go back to? And I mean, you know where it is, the 3rd Street garage, as Sage pointed out, facing 3rd Street. No, move on. Okay. Next up, 2nd Street retaining wall at 2nd and Ida.
This was a pretty fun discovery. Again, a whole entire state call for artists, and there were actually artists from LA and Southern California considered in the overall finalists because there were some great artworks. But this gentleman right here actually was born and raised in San Anselmo, so right next door. So that just happened to be somebody that submitted. He's right now residing in Santa Cruz, but his family, his mom and dad still live right down the road. So it was pretty fun, I think, for the public and probably even the committee as you guys, viewed the artworks, that there was somebody hyper local that was selected over about almost 200 people that applied. So that just happened to be, again, we just let the criteria be the judge. And if this person was selected, great, but it was pretty unanimous. Everyone really loved the theme. When we did the public outreach, nature was a big, I think, a huge criteria for the public and even the committee that wanted to see artwork that kind of reflected that even though this is a cosmopolitan area, large city, diverse, it's right here in beautiful Marin and Mount Tam. People talk about the canals. Having nature reflected in the artwork, even if it's more in a modern interpretation, I think satisfies a lot of criteria. So this really came through well. So this is kind of a really nice spot for this to integrate it with the hillside. We decided leaving the boulders, the cement boulders kind of untouched will make it a little bit more interesting looking. So as people stop at that stoplight every day on their commute, cross the street or in the bike path, that's going to get such great visibility. And I think it's going to be like another kind of landmark spot that the city, the residents of San Rafael, and even Marin is really going to be recognizing as something special. It'll be very well known. Same process as Terry said, everything's going to be primed after it's painted and coated with a anti-graffiti and UV protectant.
Yep, and then just showing some of Wyatt's work. He also does quite a lot of murals. This is a very small sampling of the work that he does, so he's very skilled at installing the work. He does it himself. And same timeline with everything. We're really looking to have installation kind of overlap with each of these so that we keep the momentum going and the excitement within the downtown area as they're going along. Same coating, yes, UV anti-graffiti coating will be installed, and that same maintenance plan basically with that as the last mural. Any questions? We put a lot of information in the packet beforehand, so
they probably reviewed everything.
We answered a lot of that in the upfront.
The nice thing is this is all available to the public, the designs, the process, so everything's very transparent. It's been out there for quite a while now, so there shouldn't be any surprises for anybody that's looking for this kind of stuff. Another interesting California-wide state call, and they're all were selected locally. And I don't think that we actually put where people were from when we did the actual showing everybody the artwork originally.
Right.
So there again, we want people to judge it on the artistic merit. Just think if this fits the criteria so people don't go, well, I want to just pick that person because they're local. So we want to try to get the biases away, just make the best way for people to judge on the merits. Well, and Paz is right in San Francisco. So really right down the road, so close by. This was what we did is when we selected the finalists, we selected them per area by the designs of their artwork, where we felt they would best be utilized. We understand that this fountain will not be a water fountain going forward. So, to best enhance it without a demolition cost, what's the way to kind of honor that? And with lighting that's going to be on here and kind of this really nice water-centric design, which this is Paz's artwork anyway. So she didn't really skew her artwork to kind of fit it. This is very much her style, but it just seems to flow on those three levels. And I think that it's just going to be subtle enough, but bring color to that spot. The plaza is just brown. That's the only color that's there. There's no infusion of any color. But I think it was great the way it was approached, because it's not going to be something that's too much of a alarming, bright color or something. It's gaudy. Feels very blending in with the hills behind it that you can see as well. The fountain, the hills, the trees. So it gives it a modern twist with a very just nature feel. So I think this is a nice way to also put in some kind of abstract modernism. The tops will actually be tiles, and that brings a different element in there. It's nice to have a different medium. Even though the tiles are going to be painted and fired, they'll appear to be embedded on there. So the way that the process goes, it actually will make a difference. Even though the design carries through and it's painted and then fired in a kiln, you'll notice the different textures with the actual concrete and then the tiles and the way that it flows. So we'll add another dimension. So it just makes it much more interesting, and it's easily identifiable as not just painting on the wall. So we wanted to bring a different, medium in there. So same thing as Terry mentioned, everything gets coated with the same high quality coating. Every condition is different. 7 to 10 years, we just say 7 to be safe, and you can reapply it. We could give anybody, the city can spray it on here. Anybody could reapply this product at any time, because eventually all paint over time will fade. Lighter colors fade quicker, I should say, than darker colors. Depending on the direction that things face, south, west, northeast, that has a bearing. But over years of doing this, I mean, we've had walls that have been facing south, so exposed for 10 years. So we have demonstrable evidence of like colors and how things fade in direct sunlight. So we'd say 7 years is a good time just to recoat stuff. And that would be a few $100s in product, and city maintenance could even do that. So it keeps the repair up. If there's ever any graffiti, a solvent and a pressure wash. It's not a sacrificial coat. It's a binding coat that actually keeps the artwork intact. Again, we're thinking about longevity. So if something happens, very easy to just clean and keep it alive for a long, long time.
As we understand for this location too, it sounds like Public Works will be working to try to install the lighting. So this will be a really nice added element from the ground level and then also on the pillars, if that's able to happen. So it'll really enhance the artwork even more. And
Paz is originally from Spain, just as a side note, but she's been living in the US for I think over 10 years. So
yeah,
but it's very nice. When we were in the public, some of the public knew some of the artists' work, specifically Paz and Wyatt. They were mentioned by several of the public when we did the outreach and we had our actual display boards out. They go, oh, I know her work. I've seen her work before. So this is also very nice that the citizens feeling they're getting very good quality artists coming into town as well. And not that, there's great artists that are local, but it feels more cosmopolitan. You're bringing bigger city artists like a San Francisco kind of right here. I think it gives a lens to a new kind of outlook and how people reflect their own city. Like, oh, we're getting these big city artists here, they're, and then their work too, added with some local flavor. So it's fitting all the criteria.
any questions on the fountain work?
Can you go back to the fountain itself?
Yeah.
Is there any kind of like undercoat?
It'll be, so the actual, you mean like a primer, or is it gonna be like the same color? Is that what you're asking?
Right, yeah.
It's gonna be primed, but maybe clear. I think she liked the idea of keeping it rustic. A lot of comments we got from public as well, they like the idea because it looks like with the paint on there, it feels like stone. It covers a good majority of that, I guess, cement, concrete, right? Cement, concrete.
Molded concrete.
Yeah, molded concrete. So it covers a lot of that, but now it feels industrial, but it also feels like nature. So we didn't want to cover the whole thing, or she didn't want to cover the whole thing.
I just want to add to that it will be pressure washed
Yeah.
beforehand and cleaned
Oh,
up.
yeah.
and A couple
Yeah.
rounds of it too, so it'll be
Yeah.
a lot cleaner.
It'll have a drastically different look. If you don't like just the fountain as it is, right now looking at it, you'd be surprised when you see this kind of design that overlays it, how it actually transforms and works with the existing surface.
I mean, it's not about like any personal preference. It's more the fact that since it has that unfinished feel, like to me, that actually does really invite graffiti.
Oh.
But I mean, if the coating's on there, if maintenance is on it, it doesn't, I don't know. It's so beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. It just feels, it already has a graffiti type of feel with the elements of the spray paint and just it being abstract. And yeah, that was my only.
Okay, yeah. And it will be brush paint, just so you know. She doesn't work in spray paint, even though it looks like it. It's all brush paint, which also is a very different looking medium when you're out there. I don't think it'll feel as an actual in person when you see it finished. I think it'll have a different look. And if it hasn't been tagged before, it probably won't. That's not going to invite any tagging afterwards. And if it has, the artwork won't change it, or it might change it. It's not going to, sometimes it sways it. We've been doing ever since COVID. I'll just let you know one interesting thing. Typically murals have been historically great deterrents for graffiti. COVID changed everything. We've seen things I've never seen before, but our personal track record, it's very rare that we've had our work ever vandalized. And if it has been, it's been small tags easily fixed. And that's actually been primarily all in Oakland, probably. We have a lot of artwork there. So it's bigger cities, you get more tagging. So it goes with the area. So I wouldn't worry about that.
And I'm sorry if this was in the packet, but you said something about lighting. Where is the lighting going? Just out of curiosity.
It's existing. It exists right now.
See it.
Oh, you can point at the bottom. Great.
That's the.
Yeah.
There's lights that spot down and then.
There's uplighting and downlighting.
And then along the base of the fountain.
Okay.
Yeah, they have that.
That's what, yeah, okay.
So the illumination will obviously give it a pretty interesting effect. It'll add quite a bit to it.
And to be clear, we need to, separate from this installation, we need to work with our Department of Public Works to confirm that we have a budget through our grant potentially and make sure that the electricity and everything is working well. So it's a concurrent but slightly separate process.
Yeah, good point. This isn't really part of the budget, but it's a really great add-on to enhance the artwork that's coming. Okay.
Anything else? No? All set?
It's all she does, right? I saw like some other, I saw like lines.
She's very interested in the like natural flow of things, and actually this particular project, she was really excited about the fountain because it was kind of a challenge, but she loved the architectural feeling and flow of it and working with that space because that's really aligned with how she designs her work anyways, as you can see.
Actually, the lines more look like a water.
Oh yeah, she's into the chi and the flow of things. She loves the aesthetic of that. So
something like a movement.
Yeah. She likes that. She likes the flow.
Okay, I'm going to go on to the next. All right. 4 of 5. We're on to the last two. So this is for the sculpture at the 4th Street Meridian, 4th and 2nd intersection.
Very well accomplished artist, Martin Taylor. He lives in the peninsula. He's got quite a bit of public art in galleries and on display at various times in Bay Area cities and beyond. He fabricates his stuff in Richmond. And this is a really quite a lucky, fortunate find for us because of the timing. And we know this, actually, we happen to know this artist personally. We've worked with him before. So he applied. I go, oh, that's great. His caliber and his character. And he was willing to go, this is a permanent piece. And the price would probably be a little higher than normal, but he was really excited about the location. And he's going to be moving to France for 4 years for artist residency. And so he wanted some of his larger pieces to have a good home. So timing worked out very, very well. This piece is slated to be in that Meridian. but temporarily, because it's a purchase piece, we're trying to get this out here much earlier since the Meridian's pushed back till October. And if it's delayed more, we might have a chance to have this displayed right out here, the exact location TBD, but this should be coming for people to really enjoy before it gets final permanent placement as well. So it's illuminated, easy LED lighting, and it's been outside, and it currently is too under inclement weather conditions, and it holds up just fine through all the storms you've had and everything else. Right now, it's actually in Vacaville. We did a program with the city of Vacaville for their public art, and they wanted to find a temporary sculpture just for a year, and they were asking to recommend some artists, and we recommended 5 or 6 different artists, and they actually chose this piece. It was only fabricated just a few years ago, so it's fairly new as well. He debuted it at Burning Man, which a lot of artists now, there's a little bit of confusion because some people think if you have art and you're Burning Man, you're a Burning Man artist. Not necessarily, yes, no, sometimes, though now, it's such a platform for media, artists will love to make things and debut it there because it gets so much press and exposure. After debuting it at such a location like that, they have a high likelihood of selling the artwork, which is ultimately what artists want to do, or even lease it. So a lot of these pieces get debuted, and I think this was just 2 years ago, so it's very, very new.
Is this metal or how do you?
Yeah.
It's metal.
Yeah,
right?
stainless steel cut, yep. Laser cut stainless steel.
With patina.
Yeah.
And it will light up. So at the Meridian, once it's been completed, there is an area where it's going to be built to house this artwork permanently, and we'll have a lighting element. So every night it will automatically be lit up, which I think is a beautiful thing about this piece, just day or night. It's pretty striking.
And kind of model after like Roman God, Nike, the Victory 2, or, it's really meant to be something that's uplifting and, ultimately just touch the sky, what it means, to kind of soar for your dreams. So it gets a lot of attention with the lighting element. So I think that's also a fun plus if that lives in the Meridian there. That makes a gateway piece much more inviting with the new planting that's coming. And so you have just a brand new, really beautiful gateway to downtown with something like this.
It's like a female fly bird, right?
Yeah.
Like a fly woman.
Yeah.
Female bird.
Like a goddess in some ways too, like a goddess. Yeah. Yep. Soaring.
Can you all talk about which direction it's facing?
Is it east or west?
Yeah, we actually did figure this out with, there you go. This is gonna be hard to see up here. You could probably enlarge it and maybe you could show them. We thought a lot about the best way to place it.
Is it? Okay, I'm slowly.
Okay, yeah, if you just. Okay, why do we leave it there for a second? You can see,
I was trying to go to the other one. I'm
Oh.
sorry, new computer. I don't know. I don't use this computer. There we go.
Well,
Trying to show you the angle a little bit there.
well, there's a scale. So you can see a scale as compared to cars. That's a scale. The other one will show you will be slightly
Here, I'll go back to
adjusted, so not head on. They'll have a okay. So that's the front.
It's in the traffic, right?
So as the cars turn in to 4th Street,
Into San Rafael.
you get you get a really nice look at it. Rather than being straight on, slightly turning, she kind of greets you more. If it was faced straight, it'd still be beautiful. You can see it from further, but as you get closer, you get kind of a up and close personal welcome. So
Probably whoever driving the car like a luggage.
no, I'll tell you, I wouldn't worry about that. There's so many projects like this. Palm Desert has a whole Meridian project with art every year. They rotate it right in the center. There's a lot of cities that are kind of going this direction now, and I haven't really seen anybody do that. So
Yeah, actually, I agree with some sculpture near to the traffic light stop signs. Slow people down a little bit. It's not like slow down. Also, people doesn't know it's a real person or not.
You're right, though. It actually makes you slow down because you want to kind of get a look at it. And it's not distracting. It's just kind of your pathway. But I think it's a really just great with a brand new meridian there. It's a very nice, downtown. It is a proper gateway like that. So I think it's a pretty, really excited that this was one of the artists that submitted. And there was quite a few. There was a lot of artists that actually were very interested in placing it. But there's fabrication time, there's cost of limited budget. So we managed to do really well with the budget that we had.
So the code was the orange color, right? It's like an orange color.
Well, it's
golden color.
Well, it's more rust color.
There is some gold paint on there.
Some gold paint,
There's gold paint, patina.
And some rust.
And then the stainless steel.
Yeah.
This looks nice, I think.
And if you go to his website, Chromoforms, you can just Google Martin Taylor.
Yeah,
you can look at all the
that,
stuff even
yes.
closer and see all his other work as well up close to really get an idea of the different things he's done.
Yeah.
And again, lucky because he's going to be in France for 4 years now.
It's
So
Martin Taylor, right?
Yeah,
that's his name, Martin
yeah,
Taylor.
Martin Taylor,
and his
yeah.
artist name, he goes
his
with
Chromoforms is the art that
Yeah.
he does, his website. So
He graduated from UC Berkeley with an engineering degree and worked at, I believe it was
Apple and
Google
Google.
and Apple.
Yeah.
But he, as an artist too, kind of wanted to combine the two disciplines into his work. And that's why he has these kind of multifaceted sides to each of his artworks. It's not just, forged, smooth forged. He likes these angles and kind of giving homage to that different technique that he's learned and honed. So he's really interesting artist, and he creates large scale pieces all the way down to small ones. He really loves nature too. So nature, animals, and just uplifting spirited pieces are kind of his main focus.
We're a critic for, I think his work are really beautiful.
It's beautiful.
yeah, he'll have around. There'll be a gallery in Marin too. He'll have all of his smaller pieces in galleries before he leaves for France too. If you ever want to pick up a piece for your house.
I have a gallery actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you
Well,
go. Maybe something can go in your
Maybe,
I have
yeah.
a gallery in Sausalito.
Oh, wonderful.
Art gallery.
What gallery is it?
Just my gallery is my name. My
Yeah.
gallery
Okay.
next to the inn above the Thai.
Yeah.
And the hotel Sausalito.
Yep.
Just next to the ferry plaza.
We probably walked in. We probably walked in there
Yeah,
before.
come over.
Oh, we will.
We've
Say
been
hi.
in there before. We've been to all the spots there.
Yeah, I was looking some sculpture also small, not huge,
Yeah.
small.
Last thing I'll add about this, if there's any questions about maintenance materials, being that it's stainless steel and patina, it's meant for the outdoor. It was built for the outdoors. It's going to last very well. Really no maintenance, very light with that. So
Yeah, it's only matter is like not going to be lose the color after rain, storm.
No.
A metal is good, not fly away. broken.
Right.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, it's substantial weight. All of the the artworks, the sculptures, they all have they've all been certified by engineers. So obviously that's a big criteria for safety. Everything's been tested by an engineering firm in San Francisco, and this sculpture and the other one. So everything's been looked at for safety, weatherability, and the nice thing too is all of our artists are the muralists and the sculptors are all Bay Area based. So if we ever had any questions or wanted them to do anything, they're actually accessible, which is another nice bonus too.
okay, shall we go on to the last?
It's lit from the inside, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And it's LED, so it's very low
Okay.
wattage. Yeah.
Negligible drain. Yeah, it's
Yep.
if you want to see it in person before it comes here, it is in Vacaville, right downtown. So
But we might have it on display in a temporary location. We'll
Yeah,
see.
maybe I'll mention that right now. I think,
Oh.
based on timing of when it becomes available, I think in May, is that correct?
Actually, a little earlier.
I was
than this
hoping
one.
March. March is ideal for coordination times. That would be. He's ready to go. I've talked to Martin just a couple days ago, actually. So it works out really well. Yeah, March.
So the piece would be available in March, and the timing of when that intersection project would start, I believe, is not fully solid, but it'd be later in the fall. So on an interim basis, since the piece would be available, we were looking at interim locations. And I think we're still trying to assess feasibility, but one of the thoughts is right here in front of the community center, that it could go right in the walkway right here as people are entering. I think that could give a really cool opportunity to talk about the piece, but still really needs to check on feasibility and whether that will work. So.
And we did measure, like you said, you did as well, the 5 feet on each side. I mean, and you don't have to worry about your feng shui. It could be centered. It won't be. We went out there like, yeah, it would actually be okay. So, and it's the easiest spot to place. No need for any concrete pad. It's already ready to go, easy to install. And as you mentioned, everybody coming in here would get a chance to see it and interact with it before it went to its permanent place. And since this is downtown, it's so accessible. I hope it does come here. It's really ultimately up to you guys where you think it goes, but it's a nice spot. We just wanted to see a lot of traffic, hopefully, or enough people getting to interact with it at a good spot.
Craig, when does construction start on this building?
Not for several years.
Oh.
So yeah, it would not
Several
impact,
years.
it would not impact this at all.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Last piece, temporary sculpture for the front of the City Hall entrance.
Oh, that's interesting.
I did a little mock-up with a stormtrooper for scale. So it's a 6-foot stormtrooper. And this is also great too. So Oleg is originally from Russia. He lives in East Palo Alto. It was actually his first endeavor into the arts. It comes from a family of stone carvers. So stone is the medium that he's been working with mostly the longest. And then years ago, he started getting into steel. This piece is really cool and modern. And again, it's just temporary. And we are very lucky that he agreed to do this. He was interested. And to let you know as well, this piece is right now in Hayes Valley in San Francisco. And it's they've leased it. And Hayes Valley, every year, they have a new piece. You might have seen the art. Hopefully you've seen art down there. Every year they change it. They pay $45,000 for a year. So it's good pay for the artist. We're getting at a very good budget for a year, a pittance of that. So we're really honored to have something of that high caliber. And with the MoCA there too, right down the road, it's also a really nice tie-in to having that modern piece of art. So we have two different kind of contrasting pieces. Martin's feels like it's a little bit more an ode, even though it's modern techniques, the style feels maybe more classical, and this is amorphous, and this is much more modern. So we're really bringing a lot of different styles, but it's not too outrageous. We're not bringing styles that would feel too out of place here. You know, we're not trying, it's not LA, it's not this so much, but it does feel like, you know, hey, San Rafael again, the county seat, biggest city, most diverse. It should feel like you have things that the other cities around you don't have and want.
Yeah, so this would go, obviously, you see right there on City Hall steps is where we're looking at for placement. Did quite a bit of measuring and figuring out to make sure it would be feasible in this location, working with Public Works as well. So
look like they're there already, right? I see
I mocked it up.
Oh, it's just a rendering.
Yeah, I did some wizardry.
It's fiction.
Yeah, I did some photoshopping. I wanted, you know, because something like this as well, I wanted people to understand like visually what it is, because it's hard to understand scale. So just kind of how it looks. So it's tall, but it doesn't overwhelm. So on City Hall steps, it would go up to kind of mid roof.
Oh, I had it on here. Let's see this one.
Yeah, we have it marked.
How big it is? How large it is?
It's 18 by 9.
18 feet tall.
18 feet?
9 feet diameter.
Yeah.
18 feet. Wow, it's really tall.
Yeah, if you see actually too, here's the scale. And again, it's a year. So this is kind of fun to have a piece that's a little bit wow. It's because if people, it's only a year too. It's a great way to kind of test what people feel about it. If people love it and they want it, like they want more of this. If they don't, like, well, it's only here for a year. This is a great way to let people kind of judge or see where you're at as far as the types of artwork. that's
So you
coming
rent
in
it,
town.
right? You renting it. You renting it or?
We're renting it.
Yeah,
Renting it is
just
good.
yeah, just 1 year.
Yeah, it's
Is
good.
the sales price is outrageous. So
Yeah, I think renting is good. Also, it's like more like today they talk about a lot of technology, AI stuff. It's very model feeling like hi, we're like ahead of the behind.
it's
Yeah,
modern
we're
for
doing
sure.
something, yeah.
Yeah, it feels modern. So I mean, again, all these sculptures that we put, as well as all the artwork, people, we put the public voting or they're weighing in on what they liked or didn't like. When they would vote on something, we translated that to numeric score and put a stacked bar chart so we could really see just how much people like things. And everything was much more overwhelmingly positive than negative so far. So it's nice to see that all these choices are, again, kind of publicly endorsed, but and this piece right here, it's a bit of a contrast with that style, but it's also kind of interesting. So yeah, it would go right to mid-height, right about 2 feet up here. So it doesn't go above the roof, which is good. So it doesn't outweigh that. So here's the stormtrooper, there's that. So you can see it's substantial, but it's going to be a talk of the town.
Is there a person there? Like
Yeah,
somebody?
I photoshopped a stormtrooper right in here. So that's 6 feet tall. So this is 18 feet. So stacked up.
Wow, I think it looks beautiful. There's the people passing there like say, wow, there's conference maybe.
Well, and again, the MoCA, the fact that I thought was interesting, the MoCA's right down the road and they've been doing so many things, a lot of modern art too, it ties in there. And I think, I'm sure they'll use that for their advertising as well. I'm sure the museum will say, hey, come, check out what we have. There's also this. It's a way to kind of cross promote, gives them a little bit of love as well. Just, part of the downtown arts district and, part of the offerings.
Yeah, I saw some like Las Vegas convention center. They always have model art, like a kind of like
Yeah.
attract attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This piece too, the only last thing I'll add about it is it's self-standing, the way it was built, so it doesn't require any anchoring or anything to hold it down. And that's all been verified but through Public Works, and the engineering specs have all been looked at. So it's got a great body of work too. Very talented artist.
And this will be coming in summer.
Most likely July of this year, and then it will remain on display until I have to update that July of next year.
So nice.
And this also gives the public to decide if they like to see more of this too. So as you're doing I know you've had some in the past, like I know a couple years ago you had the little tiny red one. We have this one now. So it's quite a difference from the, 5 or 6 foot red.
I can see the people got there taking pictures.
Yeah.
That's a big selfie,
It's quite a bit different, but this also gives people yes, this can be a program maybe the public will like. So it gives a lot of interest to have temporary artwork out there. I think it's a good thing to not have everything as a long-term piece. It keeps things fresh to put that in your public artwork. And I believe that with the city designated as a cultural arts district, California Arts Council come out, I think they're really going to be happy with all the things that the city has chosen to spend their money on. And that's going to be great press as well.
That concludes our part of the presentation.
I guess so.
I think you guys chose well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very
It
much.
wasn't just us, it was a whole committee of people. Yeah.
Well, it's subjective. I mean, it's art, but I think again, that's why we did so much work we have the data to back it up. And we wanted to make sure that everybody felt, they were upset about not hearing something. Substantial opportunity to not only hear about this, but also learn, the whole process. So the due diligence was definitely there. So Stacy made sure we were on point. We were on point, right? Yeah. Okay.
I might add just a couple things just for the record too. And first off, just want to say kudos to both of you for your work. This has been about a year and a half, 2 years now worth of work directly with Local Edition, maybe longer.
God, how long has it been?
Actually, it's been less.
Well, it feels like 2 years is what you're
Okay,
saying.
yeah.
It feels like 2 years. I mean, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
This is all made possible. The funding for this is through the California Arts Council. The city was designated a cultural arts district in, I believe, 2017 and was re-upped and received some one-time grant funding in 2023. And so, there's a group of key stakeholders that are part of the city. So the city is one of those community members on the Downtown Santa Fe Art District, as well as several others. And so I also want to, just acknowledge the Downtown Santa Fe Art District for all the work that they've put in to, saying, hey, this is a good use of those funds. You already kind of talked about it, but we as the city have been, sharing information with Local Edition to really help identify suitable locations. So logistically, the city feels these are all viable locations. We help identify these on the front end as good locations for public art that would have more of a clear runway, fewer obstacles that we would expect seeing on the logistical side. So from that perspective, we've talked with Public Works, talked with Community Economic Development, parking services for the parking garage, and don't have any significant issues or concerns with any of these proposed locations or what would be going up. Maintenance, the life cycle of these, I think is pretty long, the expected lifespan, and I don't think we have any significant concerns about maintenance. I would just acknowledge that we understand that in most of these cases, the city would essentially be taking on ownership of the art and the responsibility to maintain it long term. And so, something for us to consider is we know there would be eventually some maintenance costs associated with that, but we don't see that as something that would be rise to the significance that it would prevent us from moving forward with it. Also, just want to point out the community outreach and engagement here that this team has done a great job of reaching out to the community. I think in the staff report and the proposal, the survey reached well over 1,000 people, had really good response rates to that survey, did a lot of pop-ups, and do see really positive support in the community. There's also an attachment to the report where there were quite a few letters of community support demonstrating that people were supportive of these installations. And I think that's something that's really important to us as the city to make sure we see that the community is supportive of our work going in. And then, I think the placement of the statue, we just need to coordinate that permanent statue with that construction project. And so, just like any of these projects, there's going to be some coordination we'll have to do moving forward to make sure that it's all lined up with installation. So I think the city's prepared to, work with the artists, work with this group to make sure that goes smoothly. But I just want to add a couple quick notes at the end.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Stacy, as well. Thank you. There's been, it feels like 2 years because there's so many steps, but when you're doing the process like this and you want to make sure everything is completely checking everything you need to check, that's a process. That's what exactly it is. So, and I'm really happy that I think everything's been on schedule, which doesn't always happen, but this has been on really a great schedule. And it's been very nice to be able for us to be in a new city that we've been wanting to work in, or a new area as well. So it's exciting. So, and thank you. Because I think hopefully looks like you're pretty much on board with it.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, on that too, I was going to say too, I think, there's thinking about individually bringing these forward or as a package. I think this really is it's a proposal that really is together. So I think the ask of you would be to consider recommending sending this to City Council next for their final review and approval. So, yeah.
Can I request motion?
So moved. A motion to approve that these public artworks move forward to the, right?
Advance the proposal to city.
Advance the proposal to City Council.
I approve. I like everything there.
All right. Member Merritt,
Approved.
Member Schaufler,
Approved.
and Member Zhao.
Approve.
All right, motion approved. Thank you.
Yay. Heart. Hooray, heart.
Exciting.
Yeah, I'm glad we're here. This is very exciting. This is good. I can't wait till it's actually being installed and the after when we have
Soon to come, hopefully. One more step.
Yeah,
A few more
and
steps.
A few more steps. Yeah.
just so you're aware, I think.
A few more steps.
I think that the next step would be that we would be trying to get this onto an upcoming city council agenda. I think as of right now, we're looking at, I believe it's the February 3rd, February 2nd city council agenda. So we will definitely keep all of you posted if that's something that you'd be interested in attending. Okay.
Set the date and double check.
The second.
Yeah.
Yeah, February 2nd, yes.
That's a Monday.
That's a Monday.
It's always a Monday.
Okay, thanks. An even more exciting agenda items. We're looking to nominate and appoint a chair and vice chair responsibilities for 2026. This is my last one.
That's the one.
Aw,
for now.
time flies when you're having fun.
So wait, where am I?
I can chat about this for real quick, just
Yeah,
kind of lay out
go
like what
ahead,
your
yeah.
decision is. And so, it's in the staff report. I'd be happy to pull it up, but essentially the city has adopted some guidelines for how different roles for boards, committees, and commissions get rotated around. And I think the goal for the city is to give everyone an opportunity to learn more about the role, to experience what it's like to be in that chair or vice chair seat and have that responsibility. So typically what we recommend is that whoever's the chair serves in that role for about a year. Usually at the last meeting or beginning meeting of the new year, that's when we would do this nomination and appointment process. Typically the vice chair, we'd recommend that they have the opportunity to roll into the chair position and then have that experience for a year. And so that's what we recommend. It's totally up to the board to decide how you'd like to appoint and nominate who the chair and the vice chair are. But our recommendation would be that, Chair Zhao would be, or Vice Chair Zhao would step into that role, become the chair, and then you would have the opportunity to nominate someone else to be the vice chair, since that would be a vacant seat. So with that,
my question is, what happens after, if Sandoval is not here, do we nominate Morgan again? Or is at any point is the board reassessed?
I think, it's up to you to decide how you're going to move forward. If you feel like you had enough information to make a nomination today, you could. If you wanted to nominate for one of the two positions and delay for the second, you could. You could wait until our upcoming meeting in April to make those types of decisions. So I don't feel like it's one where you have to, it's like an all or nothing type approach.
Mhm.
And I've definitely delayed these votes for multiple meetings until we're ready. You could continue on in the chair role for the time being. We typically say that it's just up to the board to decide how you want to move forward.
So since it's only three of us, do you think I should push it? I feel, or can we, sorry. If we're going forward with Vice Chair Zhao, can we hold on who then becomes Vice Chair?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's do that then. Thank you for that. So, where's my script? Okay. So I recommend, if you would, appointing Vice Chair Zhao to chair starting April, I don't know the date of the April meeting.
Do you want to be the vice?
What do you think?
Okay, I'm fine. Yes.
I second it.
I'm here whole time. I never, late or
You're
absent.
always-
I always be here. I know everything, every tiny little detail. I was thinking, if you choose to do the public service, you should respect everybody and yourself to be there. I mean, just do your job. You choose that. They say you're not gonna pay that. You choose that. Okay, this is what I tell myself. Okay, I close my door. I'm closing. I'm gone. I have things to do. So yeah, I take things seriously if I choose to do it.
Would you accept the nomination?
Okay, I accept it.
And then does it have to be two separate motions to hold on the vice?
I think you could just you could do a motion for chair and then just say you're going to delay the vote for vice chair.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve Vice Chair Zhao as chair beginning in April.
So moved.
Second.
So then do you call roll?
Yes, I will. All right, thank you guys. Chair Merritt?
Approve.
All right, Member Schaufler?
Approved.
And Member Zhao?
I approved.
All right, motion approved. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, sorry.
And then we will shelve the vice chair appointment until April, most likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Skinner. Yeah. That is it for our agenda items. Okay. Staff liaison report.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief tonight. I first just want to say this was kind of a momentous meeting for us. This was a big approval. So thank you for taking a look at it and reviewing it. Really appreciate your work on it. I'm excited to see it go to council. And I know it's been something that has been a long time in the making. So Stacy, thanks for all your work on it. It'll be really cool to see it hopefully get installed down the line in the future. But ultimately up to city council to make that final decision. So we'll leave it up to them. So, you heard some public comment at the beginning of the meeting. I will definitely keep you all in the loop as that proposal makes its way through the process. I just want to make sure that you're aware that we are definitely tracking the public comments here. There's, a lot of support for the project. There's some concerns that have been brought up. We're trying to make sure on our end that the city is responsive to those questions that are coming our way. And want to make sure that the project proposer is aware of that too, so they can incorporate that in any future proposal. But I expect that is something that might be coming at our April meeting. So we'll try to get you more information about that project as soon as we have something. We have not received a formal proposal that has identified specific locations. And I think definitely hearing some of the concern is revolving around the specific sign locations. So we're hoping to get more of that information. As soon as we get it, we'll send it your way. There's all kinds of arts and programs happening in 2026. So the city is working on developing a more comprehensive online program and events calendar. Hopefully we're going to see some more of that added to that calendar moving forward. Really excited about that. The CAC did just acknowledge several new California cities as cultural districts, which I think is really exciting. So, San Rafael was one of 14 cultural districts, and now how many?
10 more.
10 more. So 24 cultural districts in the state of California. And I think that's really exciting to see that growth and see what could come from that. I think a lot of these programs are really great catalysts for cities like ours to get more funding, be more competitive, and hopefully continue to grow in the arts. So we're really excited about that. I know Youth and Arts, I heard, has a new art opening that just started up, or do you have an exhibit that's on right now?
Yeah. We have one called My Voice Matters. It's all student curated work. They had to submit an RFP. So we have 3 students that have between 10 and 15 works that they've individually produced all on view, and they completely curated the show themselves. And there's some really phenomenal work in it. And then we have our Rising Stars show coming up next, which is high schools are invited to nominate 12 students per school. So we get between 130 and 150 works that I get to curate. But it's great. They're incredible. So definitely come check that out.
Falkirk Cultural Center just opened up their latest exhibit opened on Friday. It's a Susan Press juried exhibit. So lots of great artwork up there as well. If you have an opportunity to go check out Falkirk, I'd encourage you to go take a look.
Is that one of the ones
That was one of our juried exhibits.
Right.
And so that is not one of the ones that comes
It's like,
here. That's our Patty, you may recall, the program coordinator. She works with other curatorial staff that help select the artwork for that one. And I think it's representing dozens and dozens of different artists.
Great.
So really cool show though. So I encourage you to check it out. So, and that is what's on my list right now.
Great. Any questions?
Anything else?
Anything else? Okay, and then any
Maroon Art Day is upcoming next week, January 18th.
Okay. No.
Which is
Right, yes.
17th.
Should have had that one on.
Maroon Art Day is a offshoot of San Francisco Art Week.
Yeah, that
And
relates
so
to the
there's a
fog art
focus
there.
on certain galleries within the Marin County arts ecosystem that are highlighted.
Yes. And then arts advocacy month is in April. And Arts Advocacy Day is at the Capitol is April 21st. If anyone's interested in going to talk to our legislators about more arts funding and access for students and such.
I am assuming they'll be attending.
anything else from the board? Great. That's it then. Anything else before we
There's nobody
adjourn?
on for public comment, I don't think so.
Oh, no, there's no one. Okay, so this meeting is adjourned at the time of 7:34 PM.
Right.
Wow, look at us. I thought I'd be here till 9.
I did too, again.